Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, fuck the theatre, for this is a Fred Downing Productions podcast.
Ugh.
Screw it.
Feel a little blasphemous saying that, but you know, when Oliver says, Oliver, you know, we do as Oliver does. Cue the music.
This is cute. Oh. Yeah.
I don't know what we're yelling about! We came, we saw, we kicked its ass!
Finished. You know, Doc. Are you telling me you built a time machine? Kind of a DeLorean?
The way I see it, if you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it some style?
Who is this? What's your operating number?
Boring conversation anyway.
Whoa, we're gonna have company! Loud noises!
Hello.
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 I'm Kendall Richardson.
I'm a Fulya and Michael.
And I'm the person who actually celebrates Father's Day without doing anything, Michael Lister.
And you are now experiencing a podcast called Fred.
Yes, experiencing it through the mediums of being on a Monday, usually a weekend, but we're doing it on Monday because we're doing it live Monday. Check it out. I got a hammer. I got a little hammer.
You got a little hammer.
Is it really a hammer or is it a pen?
Oh, deceptive.
One of my gifts from my children.
Oh, that's cute.
Multi-purpose.
Well,
Yeah.
I wouldn't hit anything with it because it'll probably break.
What about, you know, those like little tiny nails? Like,
Not even that.
no?
There's no weight.
Wow.
There's no weight. The only thing I see is picking my teeth with it.
Ah, there you go. Still multi-purpose. It still
Yeah,
works.
exactly.
Welcome to the show, everyone. It's great to be here for another week. Let's kick things off by asking Fulya what she's been watching.
What have I been watching? Yeah, just been continuing on with just, you know, my MASH cozy times, watching that. Still fun, because I love it. Also continuing on with my watch through of One Piece. I think I'm getting pretty close to the end of this story arc. And that's as far as I'll go with that. I completed season 2 of Haikyuu. Pretty proud of myself for that. It's hard. It's a good watch. The anime is great. That show is really good. My only issue with it is that there's no English dub for it for me to watch it consistently without having to.
Oh.
Because my brain can't retain information from the subtitles a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And because they also speak really quickly, I'm a slow reader, so subtitles pass through real quick. So I literally have to skim the subtitles and just get the gist of what they're saying.
No. That sucks.
Which is annoying, but you know, it's fine. But I'm still loving Haikyuu. It's still getting me all hyped up every time they have their volleyball matches, and it's as if I'm actually watching a proper volleyball match. I'm cheering them on. I'm clapping. So I'm really enjoying it. So
I was the same with Ted Lasso, which is weird.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
like they're
Let's
fictional
go,
characters, and it's a fictional match in the sports, but you know, you still feel like you're there and you're, you know, watching them, and yeah, I'm just like, yeah, let's go, and yeah.
That's awesome.
Weird.
What's the name of their team that you cheer for?
They're all high schools, so their school's name
Okay.
is Karasuno, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, the Karasuno High School.
Nice.
So yeah. Watching that.
Nice.
'Cause speaking of anime, sports anime, I should say. I started a new one yesterday because I was curious about it when it popped up on my Netflix feed, and I was just like, oh, okay, this looks interesting. And it has an English dub, so I was like, okay, I'm like, all right, let's give it a go. And it is called Kuroko's Basketball. So it's a basketball anime, which came out back in 2015. So it's like almost pretty much 10 years ago. So it's an old anime, but it's actually really good. I'm really enjoying it. Again, high school students playing basketball in their school basketball team, and I think they've got first years playing with, I think, like second or third year students in this team. And this one particular character is really small and really like, you wouldn't even think that they'd be a basketball player, because when they introduce you to this character, his head's in his books in a book reading through, at the beginning of the school year, where they're trying to get students to sign up to all these different clubs and societies. And but also it's almost like he's invisible when he's playing. So when things happen on court and the opponents are like, what the heck just happened? They don't realize, because they don't notice him. He's unnoticeable because of how small he is, and the fact that he's not really that great at playing the game anyway. But he has this skill of just being at the right place at the right time to divert the ball to another player so that they can then go and shoot, which is a really cool skill to have. So yeah, I really love that. That is their main character, Kuroko. He came from a high school that played with a lot of other really talented basketballers from their junior high years, and now they're moving into the senior year. And yeah, it's just really interesting to see this character being very invisible, I suppose. But then you have the opposite effect of another character who's absolutely humongously tall, who's actually been in America learning to play basketball over there, and has returned and signed up to this particular basketball team as well. And originally, those two kind of clash, and they don't realize they're not really that sort of close or anything like that. But then they get into an actual match, and they're essentially working together to beat their opponents, and it works. So it's actually really cool to watch this particular anime. I've been really enjoying it so far. I've sort of already binged maybe about 5 or 6 episodes already since yesterday. So I'm really enjoying Kuroko's Basketball. Moving out of anime and into a different streaming service, I managed to get myself 3 months free of Apple TV Plus. Thanks to Twitch. They had a little thing going where if you sub to a channel, then they send you a code for 3 months free Apple TV Plus subscription. So I took advantage of that, and I watched the first episode of Palm Royale because I was kind of curious about that show. I thought, let me give this a go. It has Ricky Martin in it, and I really love him. He's really cool, and I haven't really seen him in anything where I think this might be his first acting gig, maybe? No, it's not. Okay.
He was in... what was he? He was in one of Ryan Murphy's shows. I can't remember if it was American Crime Story or American Horror Story. He was in one of those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But this is my first time seeing him in something, in an acting role. So it was really interesting to sort of see him on screen. It's based in the 60s, I think, Palm Royale. And it's really interesting because it's just about this, and I'm pretty sure we did a trailer park for this show at one point.
We might have.
Yeah, because I do remember that. And yeah, it's just about this woman who wants to be part of this high society club with all these other high profile women, but she has to fake it to make it, essentially. She's just lying through her teeth to make it to get into this club, and people notice that she's not technically, a rich person to be able to get in there, but then she's not fabricating everything in her life. There are some truths, but people just choose not to believe her. Like, for instance, she has a pilot for a husband. Nobody believed her that for that, but she's like, no, I do. But I don't know whether it's technically true or whether he's like acting to be the husband.
So
I don't
she's
know.
she's into superstition, black cats and voodoo dolls.
Well played.
Thank
Well
you,
played.
thank you.
But yeah, like it's interesting. It's mostly drama though. So this show is mostly drama. There are some humor in it, like a little bit of humor in it, but it's mostly drama and it's mostly real sort of snobby rich people drama. So yeah, I don't know whether I'll continue watching that. The episodes are like 50 minutes each, like 50 minutes to an hour each. So they are long, like sessions to watch through one episode. So yeah, I don't know that I'll continue watching it, but we'll see how I'm feeling. But the last thing I want to mention that I started watching, which kind of works into what we're gonna be talking about later on in popcorn culture, is the Steve in brackets Martin, a documentary in 2 pieces.
Steve.
Yeah, Steve, because it's got an exclamation point at the end. So I watched the Steve Martin doco. It's a 3-hour doco. That's why they say it's a documentary in 2 pieces, because it's an hour and a half for each piece. But it was really cool because the first part of the documentary pretty much went through everything that he did in like when he was young, as he becoming an upcoming stand-up, trying to get his name out there and trying to get gigs and all that sort of stuff, and that time of his life and how things were working for him and the way that his parents were, and like his dad wasn't always that supportive of him, but it's just mostly the fact that he just liked the idea of being out, because he wasn't really into, like, he had no real career sort of that he really wanted to do in terms of studying. And his dad was always very criticizing of his comedy, which was interesting. So the first half of the documentary is essentially about his young life of being a stand-up comic. And then the second part, but the first part also doesn't show because there's voiceovers happening with Steve and other people that have been interviewed for this documentary, but you don't see their faces. So that first part, you don't see them. You just see all this footage of Steve Martin, and other people when they're doing shows and stuff like that. So that's all you get. Second part, we get into his later years, into his like what he's doing now, what he's been doing in the last 10 to 15 years type of thing. His relationships, including, Martin Short, and, his relationships with like his wife, and all the other people that he's had in his life as well. It's really cool. He also has a little sit down with Jerry Seinfeld, and they're having a little chat and all that sort of stuff. And he's just so adorable, Steve Martin. He's, he talks about how he got into playing banjo and how much he loved it, and the fact that he's, doing more of that now. And of course, Only Murders in the Building was also mentioned as part of that. But they talked about, the Three Amigos, and he still has the hat and the coat. And he tried it on for the documentary, and it still fits him, which is really cool.
Nice.
They talked about that. Martin Short came in and had a chat with him too, and it was really great. I learned so much about Steve Martin, essentially.
Steve.
Yeah, definitely recommend checking out that particular documentary if you're interested in learning more about Steve Martin and his life. I did also recently finish his autobiography audiobook. I ended up listening to it because my attention span for reading is not great. So audiobooks is more better for me, considering the fact that I also listen to a lot of podcasts as well. So it kind of works. But yeah, his autobiography. Once I finished that, then I went into the documentary, and I was like, yeah, this is really cool. Yeah.
Does he narrate his own autobiography
He does.
that you listen to? Oh, that's good. That's
yeah,
good.
he does.
I like that.
I generally, if I'm gonna listen to an autobiography audiobook, I would rather the narrator be the person who wrote it,
Yeah,
essentially, or the person that it's about.
that's fair.
Yeah. Steve Martin narrates his own audiobook. So, yeah, that's what I've been watching.
Nice. Amazing, Fulya. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Huge plethora
you.
of stuff.
A
All the
plethora
things.
of stuff. All the things. I love it. Thank you. Mike, what about you? What have you been watching?
A plethora of stuff. Me. Yes. I have been doing some watchings. Some new stuff that came out same day last week, which I've been watching. Only halfway through, so I haven't really binged all of it. But two things came out. Chaos, the sort of new adaptation of Greek mythology, like the last couple of years of Zeus. So that's been very interesting. And
It's the Jeff Goldblum.
yes, the Jeff Goldblum is playing Zeus.
Yes.
I would actually recommend it for you, Fulya, because it's Jeff Goldblum. He's not playing sort of a sinister character. I mean, it is Zeus, but it's Jeff Goldblum. It's charming, witty, but sometimes it's a bit
Dark.
I would say yes.
Yeah.
A bit dark in places because they are adapting the stories of Greek stuff with death and debauchery and all this stuff, but with a modern lens. So it does remind me a lot of Good Omens in a little bit of a way, but it's actually based in not just based in real world, and these characters are entering in. It's a completely different world. It's basically set in Crete, so of a stylized version of Crete with like Olympia is real and all these things that very very fanciful, if that's a word.
Fantastical?
Yeah.
Fantastical. I was trying not to say testicles, but there you go.
Fantasticals.
Fantasticals. And very queer and very, very unique and fun. And surprising, I didn't know Billie Piper was in it. And I thought, oh, that's cool. Yeah, so I've only I only went down like 3 episodes so far. So almost halfway. It's an 8 episode thing. So very good. So I don't know where it's going to go or how far it's going to be, but it's an enjoyable series. So if there's any more, cool. If there isn't, it's good what we got. You know, one and done is always good. But something that I think that's probably not going to be one and done because it's very popular and people really, really enjoy it. Terminator Zero. Speaking of anime, got the anime. Oh,
Terminator.
So it's Terminator Zero. So yeah, so it's an anime production company doing their version of the Terminator, and it doesn't really have like your Sarah Connor or anything like that. So it's all based in Japan. So it's all based in 1997 Tokyo, but
Yes.
it's sort of like a future adjacent sort of thing. So all the technology is sort of more high tech than what we experienced in 1997. I mean, imagine Tamagotchis are actually like robotic kittens and all that. So that was fun. Yeah, it's really, really good. They just strip down to the basics of what the story basically is for the Terminator, involving like humans and like creating AI, and is AI beneficial for humanity, or is it the complete destruction of humanity? And was it our fault, or is it the artificial intelligence fault? It's sort of having a mixture of both. So yeah, I've only done 3 episodes for this one as well, but I'm really enjoying where it's going. Because I've been watching an episode a day. I don't want to binge this because I'm actually really enjoying them. And yeah, been watching it dubbed, of course, with subtitles. So best of both worlds. I would recommend it. Fulya, probably not very violent, so nah.
I will mention, speaking of subtitles and dubbed and stuff, I'm watching, as I'm watching Kuroko's basketball, I noticed that this particular anime didn't have, like, you know how sometimes when there's Japanese writing in the show, they usually bring up like a translation in English. It wasn't doing that, so I switched on the English subtitles for it while I was watching it. And then it brought them up so I can see the translations for what it is that's being read. The other thing I notice is that the English translation, those subtitles are not 100% what the English dub is.
Yeah, I do that with One Piece.
I hate it.
I really enjoy it for some weird reason.
I hate it so much because it's that translation, those subtitles is actually the Japanese translation, whereas the English dub, they've made it so that it makes more sense for them to speak it, like in terms of acting it out,
and also cram the line into the lip sync. So
yeah, that too. So and that's why when I'm watching this, because I have to have the subtitles on for the written translations, I have to. I'm trying to avoid looking at the subtitles for anything else when they're speaking. So, but a lot of the times it's in my peripheral vision, and then I'll see it. I'm like, that's not what they said. What the hell?
I like the comparison. It's like, I'm getting best of both worlds, as well as I'm watching it twice. I'm watching the English version and I'm watching the Japanese version, so I don't have to watch it again. Speaking of which, I went back to One Piece. I've only seen 2 episodes this week because I've been doing the crunching and seeing where I am. I'm still in Alabasas, and it looks like I'm still going to be there for another week and a half because I got another 20. I've done the sums. It's like 26 episodes left. Yeah.
Yeah, the Alabasta section of One Piece is quite long.
Yeah. So we've just seen. I've just seen the council with Crocodile. So.
Okay.
Yeah, and number 3. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. I won't spoil it for Kendall because we're going to see number 3, Mr. Number 3, in the live action that's being filmed right now.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, same. I'm really excited. I loved it. I'm not getting into the anime. You're not doing it, but you don't need to. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the live action.
Yeah, and the live action is a nice way to just sort of cram it all together.
Yeah,
so you get the gist. Yeah,
and even in the one, and even the episodes in on Netflix, it's only like the first 500 and something, and then they go. And then they've been releasing the newer version that's in the thousands, 1008 or something like that. And then and the new ones are coming out. So it's not all of One Piece that's on Netflix, which is.
But there's also the One Piece films, which I still need to also get around to as well.
I need to find a list of if you're up to this many episodes, you can watch the movie and like go back and relive the story again. As well as the new season of One Piece that they're going back and retelling the entire thing again. And it's not called One Piece, it's called The One Piece. From same.
So I'm currently season 7, episode 185.
I don't know what that is. 185. I'm still 104. So
Okay.
I'm catching up slowly, and I'm
Slowly.
and then I'm doing this. It's like I've been doing the crunching numbers. And it's like, I can probably finish this in a couple of weeks, and then just doing the 3 episodes a day, which is fairly easy.
Yeah. I'm about 10 or 11 episodes from finishing this season that I'm in right now.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. Also, something else that's pretty cool. Because it's been Father's Day, it was my turn to watch whatever I want on TV. And
Nice.
and the kids saying, "Oh, can we watch this?" Like, no, daddy don't.
Yeah.
So I watched a movie that I haven't seen in years, and I wanted to introduce my kids to it. Because I've been on a bit of a Robin Williams kick, because it's been 10 years. I sat down and watched Hook with my kids.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's such a good movie.
Yeah, it's the first time I watched it in full screen, because there was a lot of stuff that I've picked up. It was like, I haven't seen this in the proper ratio
Landscape.
Yeah.
16 by 9. Yeah.
instead of the 4:6.
Yeah.
Back on
They're on Disney
VHS age. No, I've got a DVD of it.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, the full screen of it. Because I didn't want to pay for it because I already have. So
Yeah, fair enough.
screw
So do
you,
I.
streaming service. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched it, and the kids sort of enjoyed it. I mean, I had to wait until they actually get to Neverland so they can start going, "Whoa, what's this?" And,
Yeah.
and my little girl went, "Mermaids!"
Yeah.
Because they're not that familiar of the Peter Pan story, and they perked up when they started doing the food fighting. It's like, this is fun. It's like, yes, it is, and just watching it, and it was good. And my daughter, who surprised me with this sort of question, and it's like, you are going to be a little bit like me in the future. She said that something pretty profound. It's like, who's the bad guy? It's like, well, the bad guy's Hook. It's like, why did they name the movie after him? Very astute.
Yeah.
Good point.
Wow.
It's like, if it's Peter Pan, surely they call it Peter Pan or Pan, or all these other versions of it. It's like, and this one's called Hook. It's like, why is it called Hook? It's like, I don't know. It's like, very interesting. It's like, he's scary. It's like, yes, he is, but he's fun at the same time. And she got a bit confused. It was like, what happened to him? He got eaten, but that crocodile's not real. It's like, you're like all those fuckers on the internet. Anyway, so that was good, and
That's great. I like that.
and slowly introducing my kids to like Robin Williams and all that, which is good. Yeah. Next is Good Will Hunting. Or Death by Smoochie.
Death to Smoochie.
Death to Smoochie, which I haven't
Yeah.
seen in ages. And
Neither.
just remembering it, it's like, oh yeah, that was a good movie in a way. Not the most well known Robin Williams, and wasn't going to do Jumanji because they've already seen like the remakes, and it's like, it's weird going back and seeing. It's like, this is where it's from. It's like, this is stupid. So I need to time it correctly. So anyway, Kendall, you got
Yes.
stupid stuff to watch?
No, but now I'm gonna, ask if you watched the thing that I'm gonna talk about. But maybe
did.
I'm just gonna. You
But
did?
that's why I call it stupid. Oh.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah. Rings of Power's back, baby.
Oh,
Yes.
Woo!
Woo! Yeah, that's literally the only thing that I have to talk about.
That is 3 hours.
well,
Yeah.
here's the thing though. You
Mm.
had to be somewhere for a specific thing for this show.
Yeah,
So
did you watch it
please,
twice?
I did.
Please explain.
I will explain. But I'll also answer Mike's question. I've seen every episode twice so far.
Oh, so it was a...
I had to watch. No, I watched the third one at home twice. I watched it on Thursday night, and then I watched it yesterday again. Because I really wanted to see it again. Yeah. So what Fulya is getting at, everyone. Yeah, I got to go to the Australian premiere of season 2 of Rings of Power last week.
Now, really?
Yeah, really. I really did. Really. Yeah, I was very lucky enough to have a very good friend who won a competition for a couple of tickets to go, and yeah, and she asked if I would go with her, and of course I just had to clear it with work, and work were like yes. So yeah, I went to Sydney for like 36 hours, something like that. And yeah, I got to see the first 2 episodes of the show before anyone else in the country, which is really cool. A lot of the Australian media were there, like there were people from Foxtel and Channel 10 and Channel 9, like everyone was there. And I was on the red carpet, like not walking down the red carpet, but like I was on the behind the barrier. I got to walk down it once the actors were all gone, because yes, some of the actors from the show were there.
No one important.
And I just no one important. I got to say hi to all of them, and they all signed. They gave us when we showed our ticket and everything. They were like, "Do you want a poster?" And we were like, "Yeah." I didn't even think anything of it, and they were like, "Oh, and here's a Sharpie because you'll get it signed." And I'm like, "Jesus Christ!"
Oh wow!
So immediately I was just dying. And then so I got to meet Leon Wadham. He's a Kiwi actor. He plays Kemen in the show. He's an original character to the show. He's not in the books at all. But he's the son of Farazon, who is the Numenorian politician, if you will. He's a cousin of the Queen Regent, and he's going to do some really bad things very soon. So that's fun. And his son is a bit of a sniveling, pompous ass, who Leon plays very well. I also got to meet, I'm going to say his name wrong, Tyro Muhaffidin. I love his name, but I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry, Tyro, not that you're listening. But anyway, he's great. He plays Theo. He's another original character to the show. And yeah, he was really nice. I didn't really get too much time with him, but he came over and said hi and signed all our posters, and I was just like, thank you so much. He's, oh, it's my pleasure. And he was just really sweet and really cool, wearing his he had Timberlands on and this denim baggy outfit and sunglasses. He was very much the cool Zoomer. And yeah, and then I got to meet very quickly, because she was running late. I met Markella Kavanagh, who plays Nori. She's a Harfoot in the show. Another original character. They're all original characters. Yeah, so she's basically sort of like a Frodo sort of character. Has that sort of destiny thrust upon her, and she's going on a bit of an adventure with a character who is totally Gandalf, basically confirmed. But that's neither here.
Confirmed, is it?
Oh, I think so. I think so. But anyway, I'll save that for my thoughts on the episode, maybe. Anyway, yeah, so I got to briefly meet her. She was really lovely. And then fucking Kendall had a moment. Well, Kendall behaved herself, believe it or not. Kendall was very, like, did not lose her shit. Didn't say anything stupid. Didn't do anything stupid because...
Bugger.
If you're wondering why. Bugger, I know, right? I got to... I can't believe I'm going to say these words. I got to meet Charlie Vickers, who plays Sauron in The Rings of Power. Not an original character, of course.
Wait.
Yes. Yeah.
Just Sauron? Surely he has many names.
Yes. Well played. Yes, he's been awake since before the breaking of the first silence, and he has many names. Yeah, he's my favorite. He's part of the reason why I'm so invested in this show and so interested. Just his performance is amazing. He fooled us all in the first season. Well, he fooled most people. He didn't fool everyone. If you read the books and knew Sauron's character a bit, you would know that he was Sauron basically the whole time. But I didn't. He tricked me with his pretty face. Oh, yeah. But anyway, I got to meet him, and I got to have a photo with him, and he signed my my poster, and I can barely remember anything that any of us said. I just said I said thank you to all of them. Like, they're all really nice, and I said thank you to all of them. And Charlie was probably the nicest. He took his time with everyone. Like, he was one of the first actors down the carpet. Like, they kind of all arrived at the same time except for Markella. And he took his time with every fan, and eventually, we actually made friends. Me and my friend Laura, we made friends with this random Instagram influencer who, like, her boss got her tickets or something. I can't remember. But anyway, she was there by herself. We were like, come, hang out with us. You seem really nice. And she was the one, she these are her words. She's like, I don't have the embarrassment gene. So she was just like calling out all the actors to come over to us. And because we were like, what do we do? How do we get them to come over?
She helped you.
She helped, yeah. We would not have had the same experience if she hadn't have been there. So shout out to her. Tess is her name. She was really nice. But anyway, so because what happened was, at one point, Charlie came over and talked to him for a bit. He made so much eye contact with me. It was, I don't know how I survived. I don't know. I think I just let it happen, and then afterwards was just like, okay, Sauron looked at me with his eyes. The eye of Sauron. Anyway, I just keep going with puns. Anyway, so he was really nice and everything, and then he signed stuff, and then eventually Tess was like, can we get a photo? And he was like, of course. And so her and I, in the photo originally, it's me and Tess, and I cropped her out. Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry. She I don't think she even follows me on Instagram. But anyway, and that, I just said thank you to him, and he was, really nice and whatever. And he moved on and, was greeting other fans and stuff. And then, but my friend Laura didn't get her photo, and she was like, shit. And she mentioned that to Tess, and then Tess called Charlie back, and she was like, oh, can we get another? She didn't get a photo. Is that okay? And he was like, yeah, that's fine. I've got all the time. I'm not in a hurry. Like he was so, it was just so, like, Sauron was the nicest guy ever. And he plays such, like, the epitome of evil in this show. And
you are bewitched.
I was bewitched. Oh, he's such a nice smile too. Fuck. Anyway, so it was an amazing experience getting to meet him and meet the other actors and just be there. Like, there was all these flames on the carpet and everything, and and then we went inside. We got free got to pick an alcoholic beverage, so I had a glass of champagne and got free popcorn, free water, and soft drink for the others. But and then we went inside. We were at the IMAX in Sydney. So I saw it on the IMAX screen, but it wasn't an IMAX ratio. It's just in widescreen, extreme screen, I guess. I don't know what you call it. And then before the screening started, there was a little sort of Q&A thing with the actors. They brought them down the front, and these two random radio hosts from somewhere in Sydney, I can't remember their names, but they were asking them all these random questions, and that was kind of fun. And then they got them to do a quiz. They gave them, like, brought out a bag of burger rings, so like burger rings of power, and they were like putting them on all the actors' fingers, and then they had to answer questions about each other, or about themselves, or their characters, and then if they got it right, they got to eat the burger in.
What was it
so
like on the set?
But yeah, so that was really cool. And then we got to watch the 2 episodes. And then literally after the 2 episodes finished, and we were just sitting there until the credits were done and whatnot, and like, because the actors were in the room watching the show with us too, and I was just like, there was so much Sauron in the first 2 episodes, and I'm just like, not okay. I'm like, he's sitting over there. Like, I watched where they were sitting. I was like, where are they going to be sitting? Are they going to be like right behind us? And they were like we were off to the left, and they were off the back. Anyway, but yeah, so that was cool. And then I got to see Charlie one more time when we left. We hung around and we got more photos of like everything and whatever, and then we saw him walking out and stuff, and I was too nervous to say anything, so I just watched him leave. But other people were saying bye to him, or or hi or whatever, and I was like, oh, and then that was it. So Sydney was amazing. I can't believe I was there. It was amazing. And as for the show, I rewatched episodes 1 and 2 on Thursday when they dropped. And then, like I said before, rewatched episode 3 yesterday. So I've seen all 3 twice. And yeah. Crazy. Really, really good. Really, really dark. Lots of bad things are gonna happen, and I am very much worried for the safety of a couple of characters, as I've been saying with the trailers. But yeah, it was cool to kind of see we get to see Sauron's backstory a little bit in this. Because there's things hinted at in the first season that happened, and we get to sort of see some of that play out, and how he ended up where he ended up at the start of season 2, on the raft pretending to be Halbrand and bonding with Galadriel, and we see how he got there, and then we get to see him at the start of this be Halbrand, but also be Sauron, and he's being so like manipulative and moving all the pieces into place, and he's playing everyone like a fiddle, and it's fantastic to watch. And getting to see Charlie play like 3 different characters basically in a way is kind of fun. And he's now transformed. He's taken on a new form, and he's pretending to be an elf sent by the they're called the Valar, but they're the gods or whatever.
Yeah.
The gods of Middle-earth basically have sent him to be like, I'm going to help you make rings so we can save Middle-earth, which is what Sauron wants to do. But, really, he just wants to, when he says save, he wants to rule everyone. So amazing visuals and stunning things, and some conflict between Galadriel and Elrond, which had me going, oh my god, the angst, besties are fighting, no, stop. My elves. But that's really good to see. It just really cool to see so many characters coming back after so long, and I'm really, really happy with it, to be honest. So far 3 episodes, we've got 5 more to go, so you'll be hearing about me talk about this for the next month and a bit, so strap in. But I'm really excited to see where it's all going. And the stranger, like I said, he's totally Gandalf, because at one point, like, they're talking about trying to find him a name, and he's like, no, a name is not something someone gives you, even though it is. And you already have your name, you just have to find it or whatever. And then literally at one point they're like, we need to find a Gand. And I'm like, oh fuck. Well, there it is. For those who, and I looked it up. Like, for those who don't know, a Gand is a Norse name, or a Scandinavian name for a staff. So, or a wand. So yeah, so he's Gandalf.
Yeah, because
but
no
anyway.
other wizard has staff.
Staff elf. Anyway. Yeah, so I'm very happy. Kendall has been living on cloud 9 for the last week. So it's been a great time. Glad to be back in Middle Earth again. It was great. Mike, what did you think of the episodes before we move on with the rest of the show?
Yeah, it was alright. I'm actually, I'm more invested in with the second season because it's actually moving a bit more forward, and my sort of prediction is the sort of, dare I say, lukewarm sort of take that people had with the first one. It's like, yeah, it's good, but where's this going? Sort of thing. And I think they sort of went cotton on and it's like, oh, we probably need to move this a bit forward. Not thinking we could do this in 5 seasons. It's like, no, just do what we like, you know, and more familiarity. I mean, I did worry for you, Kendall, because we have creepy crawlies that you don't like.
Oh, Fulya.
I don't wanna know.
There was a scene with spiders
In the dark.
in the dark. I was look. I can handle. This is gonna sound weird. I can handle giant spiders. Like, I don't mind because like that's unrealistic, right? Gigantic spiders.
Is it?
Doesn't
Is it
really. Is it really?
We're in
We live in
Australia. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, where all the freak shows of science have come.
I literally had one of my American Rings of Power friends messaged me during that scene and was like, "Isn't this your backyard or whatever?" Like,
Now you know how I feel.
now you know how we feel. Yeah, no, because we get to there's a scene where we actually get to see Shelob, a younger Shelob, so she's smaller, and then but like it's in her nest, so there's like. It's literally like the scene in Chamber of Secrets when Ron is just looking up and there's spiders coming down everywhere.
Yep.
It's basically like that. And I wasn't having a good time.
I'm not okay with that.
No.
I was having a good time because I knew you weren't going to have a good time.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say too, you good point about the the reception to season 1. I think season 1 very much was a big setup season and laying the groundwork for the canon events that are coming, and this season is really getting into that canon stuff, like the actual stuff that's happening, the forging of the Rings of Power, and the siege on Eregion, which we're going to see over 3 episodes. Like that shit actually happened in the lore that Tolkien wrote, so that's exciting. Yeah,
and also the setting up of the different rings as well, and doing the dwarf things. I like that.
Doing the dwarfs.
Yeah. Seeing Khazad-dûm.
Yeah.
Foreman. I feel sad that what's gonna happen? There's death and destruction.
So many of these characters are gonna just go through it over the next few seasons of this show. It's gonna be.
It does help when you make up your own characters to kill off.
Yeah, part of me thinks that why like probably a third of the main cast is original characters, so they can actually have some stakes and some fatalities.
But Isildur,
fucking
plot armor.
Yeah, he's got plot armor.
It's
yeah.
Like, oh really? He died? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very funny. Yeah, they made people think he's dead, and then they're like, no, guys, he's the one that Elrond screams at to not, to destroy the ring.
The fuck, man.
Fucking Elrond's already. I do like how Elrond already is like, I don't like these rings. They must be destroyed. Like from fucking get go. He's just like
them.
I don't like them.
Is it because you didn't get one? Why don't you grow your hair and whinge about it?
Oh, he will.
Oh, he will. He'll build his own house. He says, "I'm staying right here."
Yeah. Well, that's what's gonna happen. He's gonna, after Eregion falls, he's gonna go up north and found Rivendell. So, we'll probably get to see the beginning of Rivendell in this show as well, which is
Yeah,
cool.
a lot more places that haven't been made yet.
Yes.
Yeah, and the Stranger's
Yes.
going to be Sauron.
Did you mean to say Saruman, or are we retconning Sauron here?
Yeah. The original red herring.
The original, yeah.
I think he's going to be all everyone. Yes.
Nice.
Saruman.
Saruman.
And a new character, evil desert wizard.
Yeah, who some people are thinking is actually Saruman, but I'm starting to after I learnt a little bit more about the lore behind the Blue Wizards that Tolkien never really wrote too much about. One of them is supposed to kind of be in the East and have a cult, and is kind of bad. So a lot of people are starting to think that, this is actually, he's one of the Blue Wizards. He's not going to be Saruman. But the Stranger is definitely Gandalf. If he's not Gandalf, I will eat my hat.
Eat your hat then.
Podcast.
Hope you like canvas.
Yum.
It's too easy. Come on.
I know it's too easy, but like they're throwing it in our faces now. Come on.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I will happily be proven wrong. I don't want him to be Gandalf.
It's too early.
I know, but they've compressed the timeline.
Doesn't matter. I mean, they can't really do the Silmarillion anyway because they haven't got the rights.
They don't have the. Yeah, they literally had to ask permission to use the name Anatar, which is Sauron's elven emissary name this season. That's in the Silmarillion, so they had to be like, can we use this name, please?
Sure.
Yeah. Sure.
Whatever.
Yeah, they have to ask permission for certain things, because they only have the rights to the Lord of the Rings books and the appendices, which mention a lot of the stuff that happened earlier. Thank God. But yeah,
the things that people are more familiar with.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. Which is probably part of why the show, like the first season, wasn't a lot of canon stuff.
Yeah.
So. But that's okay. I love it.
Lots of hearsay. Speaking of hearsay, next one.
Next one. Well, that's it. That's all. I just rings of power, man. I'm in Middle Earth, so I have nothing else to say. I eventually will float back down to real Earth at some point. But yeah, that's where I am right now mentally. Cool. Well, that's the most epic weekly watchings we've ever done. Thank God I didn't watch anything else last week.
Yeah.
To talk about. So let's move on with the rest of the show, shall we? And start that by getting into the nerdy news.
This is the news, the nerdy news. The nerds that talk about the nerdy news. That is us who talk about the news that is nerdy. And now the queen of nerdydom, the hostess with mostest, Kendall Richardson. Take it away, Kendall.
Okay, it is nerdy news time, and unfortunately we have to start the news by getting a little sad for a little bit, which this is just very shocking, because unfortunately the rapper known as Fat Man Scoop passed away over the weekend, just at the age of 53, which is ridiculously young. When I saw the news, I was just like, that's kind of wild and makes no sense. His real name was Isaac Freeman III. And yeah, he was also a bit of a hype man. You know, he featured on a lot of singers, a lot of other rappers' work, as well as his own stuff. And you know, he was hugely popular in probably the late 90s, early to mid 2000s. One of my absolute favorite clubbing songs is his song "Be Faithful" with Faith Evans. You'd know it when you hear it. It's like, you know, the one talking about dollar bills and long hair and, you know, get your hands up and all that. Like, it's got, like, he samples I can't remember what song, like older song he samples, but anyway, like something from the 80s or something. But it's a bop and a half. It's like every time it comes out, like on the speakers, and I'm out clubbing or I'm out at a bar or somewhere, I have to be on the dance floor. It's one of my favorite songs, and so really really sad to hear that he's passed away way too soon. Suffered a medical emergency while performing. He's actually mid performance on stage in America at the time.
And then he collapsed on stage. Yeah,
he collapsed. Yeah, so don't know the exact cause of death at this time, but needless to say, yeah, just such a tragic loss. And at least you know he died doing what he loved, and you know his purpose in life, I guess, as well. One of my other favorite Fat Man Scoop songs is he featured on a track with Missy Elliott and Ciara called "Lose Control" as another big dance floor banger back in the 2000s.
That's a good one too. I like that one.
Yeah, I love that song. I was obsessed with that song when it came out because I love Missy, love Ciara, and then Fat Man Scoop, and that combination just amazing. So yeah, he made a lot of people happy, and he will be missed. Fulya, do you have any words on the late great Fat Man Scoop?
Yeah, when I found this news out, it was literally like I was just passing through the living room. My parents were watching the news, and as I was about to come into this room, the news, I heard Fat Man Scoop has collapsed on stage and has died at the age of 53. And I'm like, wait, what? And then I immediately looked it up on my phone, and I was like, oh wow, yeah, that really shocked me. Absolutely shocked me. I did not expect that. 100% a massive hype man. I like a lot of the songs that I've listened to back when I was younger. Were a lot. He was featured in a lot of like hip hop R&B songs, especially the ones that you'd hear at clubs. And I always every time I hear a Fat Man Scoop's name, my brain goes to the one. I don't even know the name of the song itself, but it's got like a few different artists singing at the same time, and he's doing his own like little rap and his hype in the song. It's like Fat Man Scoop, rock the plan, you know.
The Be Faithful song.
That is okay. Sorry, it didn't click. So
yeah. That's okay.
Yeah. So that was kind of one of my favorites as well. It's like as soon as that comes on, you just want to like move, you know.
It's a bop. It's got such a good beat, and like
it really does.
It's just it gets you going.
Yeah. And Fat Man Scoop just really does know how to hype up an audience. He really knows how to do it. And so yeah, it's really sad to know that he's passed away. But you know, he's come down to do R&B Fridays a few times.
Yeah.
I think. Because you know you need a hype man for R&B Fridays, so he was definitely down for that. But yeah, it is quite sad. But yeah, he died doing what he loved, and he'd probably continue on in the heavens. So you know, rest in peace.
Yes, well said, Fulya. Mike, do you have any thoughts on the passing of Fat Man Scoop?
Not much. Like I was never like a big clubbing person. Even when I was in uni, like I'm just a loser that just just sat at home getting drunk and watching reruns of House. Or I was just coming home from work from McDonald's and catching the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson. Yeah, but knowing that my wife was a big clubbing person, and she when she heard that, it was like, oh, this is really sad. It's like, yeah, I vaguely know some of his like big hype songs, and big hype man he was. And it's just an iconic sort of voice as well, just big booming.
Yeah, for sure.
instantly recognizable.
Yeah, and dare I say, going out the way he probably wanted to, just performing on stage, just getting everyone hyped, and still going. But it is what it is. So big, yeah, $100 bill. Get your hands up.
Yes. Very sad. Yes. Well, thank you. All right. Let's move on into the rest of the news. Couple of things to talk about that are exciting. The first of which is some Star Wars news. This is interesting. We're getting Sigourney Weaver in the Star Wars universe. She is going to be among the cast of The Mandalorian and Grogu, which is really cool. Yeah, her first time venturing into Star Wars, but of course not her first time in outer space, as we know. No idea as to what character she's playing, if she's a human or an alien, or what her role is, if she's good or bad. She can do it all. So, yeah, they're filming it at the moment. So yeah, she just commented that she's doing it. It wasn't an official like casting announcement thing by Disney or anything. She just mentioned it in passing, and she probably just had permission to say that because she made a point to say I can't really say much about it, what I'm doing, but yeah, she's in Star Wars. So I can't wait to find out more about her role, and yeah, I hope it's good. I'm sure it will be. She's amazing, and doesn't really ever put a foot wrong. So yeah, I can't wait. I'm extra excited now for Mando and Grogu. It's gonna be fun. It's not coming out for a couple of years though. I think it's 2026, I believe, is when we're gonna get to see them take off back again. The Clan of Two, but yeah, looking forward to it. Fulya, do you have any thoughts on Sigourney Weaver heading into a galaxy far, far away?
No, I'm just curious to know what her character is going to be. So I'm just gonna keep my eyes peeled for that news.
Won't we all?
I feel like I don't know if she'll be another Mandalorian, to be honest. She might just be a completely different character, but yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to see her pop up in the Star Wars franchise. So yeah, we'll see how we go.
We shall. Mike, any comments on Ripley going to Star Wars?
Well, the speculation is just endless because
yeah,
it's not the first time that she's met aliens. Either a xenomorph or an abattoir. Yeah, kind of cool. Hopefully she'll have something to do. I mean, it is a movie, so it's probably a semi big role. You wouldn't want to waste like Sigourney Weaver doing that because like it's not like it's the actual show where they just sprinkled like some stunt cameos, if they can basically the Lizzo and Jack Black and Christopher Lloyd episode is like, here we go, chuck them all in this one. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
but can't wait. Then
nice.
This chapter will be closed.
Yeah, or will it?
Yeah, well, Star Wars is in trouble.
Star Wars is in trouble.
Yeah.
Speaking of franchises that will never end, our final bit of news this week is our first details, our first look, and our title for the next movie in the Jurassic series. This is, of course, Jurassic World. This is going to be the fourth film in the world portion. It's still set in the same universe as with the park. Go on.
Is it in the world?
Is it in the world of Jurassic World? Yes, it is. And Jurassic Park. Yes. Yeah, this movie is called Jurassic World Rebirth. So, little on the nose with the name, but that's fine. I'm actually kind of interested in this movie only because I guess, the member berries are strong. I love the original 2 movies, and I, enjoy the third one for what it is. I like Jurassic World. I didn't like Fallen Kingdom, and Dominion was okay. Yeah, glorified cameo fest. But anyway, it's fine. But this is going to be directed by Gareth Edwards, who did Rogue One, who did The Creator and Godzilla, who actually has some really good visual effects and directing history. So fucking tick that box. Thank you very much. The cast on this so far they've announced, and the 3 notable names, or noteworthy names at least. We have Scarlett Johansson, we have Mahershala Ali, and we have Jonathan Bailey. And if you don't recognize Jonathan Bailey's name, he's in Bridgerton. He's in the upcoming Wicked movies as well, amongst a bunch of other stuff. He's a very talented man. Yes. Yeah, we got kind of a little snippet of what the story is going to be. It's set 5 years after the events of Jurassic World Dominion, where apparently the planet's ecology has proven largely inhospitable for dinosaurs. Those dinosaurs left now exist in isolated equatorial environments with climates resembling the one in which they once thrived. The 3 most colossal creatures within that tropical biosphere hold the key to a drug that will bring miraculous life-saving benefits to humankind. Cue the evil scientists. Because this franchise is going to franchise, and there's always going to be evil scientists around every corner. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm interested. They've got my attention. I'll say that. I will see how we go with the trailer, but more importantly, we'll see how we go when we sit down to watch this, because the last 2 movies did not meet my expectations. I'll just put it that way. But there's some promise. We'll see how it goes. It's coming out next year, I believe. I don't think they've given us an actual release date, but it's July 2025. You'll get to see Jurassic World Rebirth. Mike, are you a Jurassic fan? Do you have any thoughts on this? Are you interested at all in checking this out when it comes out?
Am I a Jurassic fan? I was.
Fair.
Oh my god. I'm done. I don't need this.
No.
It was.
No.
I mean,
we don't need this.
I'm done. No more, please. And the way that this was in production is they wanted a movie. They said they wanted a movie next year, and they got a date, but without a writer or a director. And they were shopping around for like 2 weeks until they find something. So that doesn't give me hope. And the synopsis on this of saying, the dinosaur, let's scale back of actually having dominion of, like, let's not have a Planet of the Apes sort of scenario of dinosaurs taking over the world again, and we have to coexist. It's like, no, they can't. Let's scale it back again. Can you stick to one idea at a time, please? And now they're turning it into Avatar. They need the
Avatar.
They need the thing. They need the MacGuffin. I fucking hate it. No, I don't care. I don't care anymore. Stop.
Stop it.
I watched the last one out of no enthusiastic or... I just watched it so I can just say, okay, it's done. I don't need to watch this ever again. I'll just stick to the original 3, because the third one I actually quite enjoyed, because it didn't take too long, and Sam Neill is buff. And yeah, Jurassic World is like, yeah, it was fun when I was saying, oh, this is cool, member berries, and yeah, I don't want it. Can you make it stop, please?
I would love to. I would love to make it stop.
Give well
nice.
enough alone.
Yeah. Let the past die.
Fucking dinosaurs. Let's bring it back to life. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
The symbolism just writes itself.
Literally. I kind of love the irony of, like, the big corporations just fucking shit up in the movies and in real life with the movies as well.
It's not fun. Yeah. It's not fun,
though. It's not good. It's not good. All right.
What about you, Fulya? Do you like this bullshit? So when is this coming out? June next year?
July next year. We get to return to Jurassic Park and see that they spared no expense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Gareth Reynolds. I mean,
yeah, he's a great director.
His Godzilla film was great until Godzilla -1 blew it out of the water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Up to a point.
Unbeatable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Still have that poster. It was great. My first adventure in IMAX.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. That would have been amazing to see on the big screen.
It was.
Oh. Good times.
All
right, let's move on.
That's where my love for Godzilla got re-sparked.
Yeah, I found a new appreciation.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Except for
alrighty.
There's a lot of fish.
There's a lot of fish.
That's a lot of fish.
That's a lot of fish. Okay, next.
Fish.
Speaking of fish, but not really. Next segment, we are going to roll on up to the trailer park.
Rolling up to the trailer park where we all park all the trailers. Yeah.
It's trailer park time. Let's hit it. Because we got our first trailer this week for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Yeah, boy. I mean, these movies are fun. They're definitely more of a family variety of film. But they are better than some family movies out there, I will say, that I've seen. Yeah, I love the first movie. I enjoyed the second one. And I'm keen to see more Jim Carrey as Robotnik. And now the fact that he's also going to be playing his dad, I think, is what they said at the end of this trailer.
Granddad, actually.
Granddad, thank you.
Papa.
Papa. That's amazing. I love that little moment in this trailer where he's like trying to change into his Robotnik suit, and then he's like, I need more material, whatever he says. And he's like, I don't have any, and he just rips the dude's suit. Deals. He's like, I've got it here.
Agent Stone.
I remember. Yeah. Yeah. I'm here for the Jim Carrey of it all. Just getting to see him be a caricature is always a good time. Yeah, and I love Ben Schwartz as Sonic. He's so funny. He's so good, and yeah, he fits the role perfectly. Good to see Idris Elba is returning as Knuckles, of course. And he's now a good guy, I guess. So that's fun.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. James Marsden is returning as well. Always a good time watching him. He's a nice face to see in this franchise. And then we finally got to hear for the first time Keanu Reeves as Shadow. I am here for it. I know nothing about Shadow at all. Didn't know the character existed until this movie was announced. But hey, I'm on board for a dark and powerful alien that runs fast. Let's do that. And if it's voiced by Keanu Reeves, then well, it's just going to be breathtaking. So I'm here for it.
No, you're breathtaking.
The meme never dies. yeah, it just looks fun. It looks fun. Like this was not a bad trailer. It didn't show too much. It was well paced. It was fun. I think the Sonic franchise knows what it is, and it's not afraid to have a good time. So I'm in. Let's go. Gotta go fast. Fulia, what did you think of the Sonic 3 trailer?
Seemed like it's gonna be a good time. Haven't seen the second one yet.
Sorry, I thought you had.
Nope.
Sorry.
Haven't seen it. But here's the thing, though. I don't know that I'm gonna be going out of my way to go see this. Same deal that I had with the second one. I'm just not really. I'm not really that keen. Let's just put it that way.
But
and number 2 is on a streaming service, and I still haven't gotten around to it.
I am sad and surprised because it is a gaming franchise.
Yes, it's a game.
It's got Jim Carrey in it.
It's got Jim Carrey in game.
And it's family friendly. Like those are like Fulia's, like 3 or 4 years boxes that you tick. I'm so confused.
Firstly, it's gaming related, yes. But it's not a game that I really grew up with. I never had a
Neither
Sega
did
of
I.
any kind. I've only played like Sonic games randomly whenever I got the chance to go to my cousin's house, and that's if they let me play. So I'm not really a huge Sonic fan. So I don't really have that much of a nostalgia for it, even though I have played it when I was a kid. The first one was good. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I don't know. It's just not, for whatever reason, it's just not getting me hyped up to see it. I'm just, yeah.
They get better.
I'm not really that excited, so,
So let me guess, you watch the second Mario movie. One that's not been greenlit yet.
We know it's coming. It's coming.
It's gonna happen. It's a matter of time. Well, I rescind my spoiler apology, Fulia.
Yes, fuck you.
Yeah, screw me. Like, it's fine.
I rescind my apology and replace it with a fuck you.
With love. With love.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for your honesty, Fulia.
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
Mike, what did you think of the Sonic 3 trailer?
I really enjoyed it. I didn't grow up with a Sega. I was a Nintendo boy. I was always a Nintendo boy. Always have been, always will be. And no Sega. And no Sega. Even though I've played a fair number of Sega titles. Like Golden Axe was just fucking awesome. Yeah, and it's ticking all the boxes in this house. I mean, I showed my kids the trailer, and they're really excited. And at last, my little boy is now at the age of actually seeing movies on the big screen now. Like, we took him to see Inside Out 2, and he was fascinated and really enjoyed it. And yeah, my daughter, has always had a fascination with Sonic and the Sonic movies as well. I mean, we've got them all on. We've bought it on digital, and we've got them on Blu-ray, and we actually got a Sonic 2 poster in my daughter's room because she wanted one for one of her birthdays. So, and just watching that is great. And then we got Shadow the Hedgehog coming, and my wife's a big Keanu fan, so much it's one of her hall passes. So, and it sounds like John Wick, and I can't wait to see John Wick Sonic. That's going to be awesome.
A very dark and brooding Sonic.
He rides a motorcycle and he's got an AK-47 cannon. So
and the shoes, man, those shoes he's got on is something.
Oh, they all got shoes. I mean, Knuckles have got the Lego bit feet. Yeah, and they're just old, bro. Just knocking it out of the park. So yeah, the whole family's going to see it the opening day, which will be.
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, Mike. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 will be in cinemas on Boxing Day, the 26th of December.
I really enjoyed the memes that have come out. That then they go, the first Sonic movie came out roughly where and outperformed Birds of Prey, and then the second one came out and it was one of the Marvel ones. Morbius. It came out at the same time as Morbius and blew that out of the water. And people have put Kraven the Hunter.
Oh, oh damn!
Yeah, it's gonna.
Oh,
It's surprised.
It's going down. It's going down.
What are we going to watch? Kraven the Hunter or Sonic?
How about both? I am the Venn diagram. I'm gonna see both of these movies. I don't know.
You enjoy them.
Oh, thank you.
Is it still a Venn diagram if it's an eclipse?
Yeah, good call. Good call. All right, let's move on now to our next trailer, shall we? And that is, of course, our first trailer for the upcoming third season of The Legend of Vox Machina. Finally, it's upon us. Yes, really cool to see. A really decent trailer. No surprises, of course. But I liked this trailer. It was good. There's a lot of action. Not a lot of plot details revealed, except for the fact that to save the world, they've got to go to hell. And there's more dragons. There's lots of flames and lots of monsters and lots of peril happening. So and probably some romance and some death. So it's got everything you want. This show. Yeah, I love the first two seasons. I need to rewatch season 2, I think, or at least the second half of season 2 because I've forgotten a lot of this. It's been a while. I think it was last year, maybe early last year when the last season. I can't remember now, but it's been a minute, so I need to get my head around it. But yeah, I'm excited. It looks fun. It looks great. I love this kind of, it's obviously based on the Critical Role D&D series, but fantasy, but adult fantasy in anime, and they've used a really cool style of animation that mixes CG animation and 2D animation really nicely, and the characters are great. The sort of found family group that Vox Machina have is fun, and yeah, I'm so excited to see them back again. I can't wait. Fulya, and I know, at least I'm pretty sure you haven't seen this show and it's not really something on your radar, but what did you think of this trailer?
Yeah, honestly, this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Yeah.
I've never even came across it.
It's a good show. It's a good show.
Yeah. Although, being that it's very heavy on the D&D sort of lore and all that sort of stuff, it might be a bit too much for me.
I will say, in terms of D&D lore, I am a noob and a half on D&D stuff, and I understood everything, and nothing went over my head. It's the story. It's not really the D&D stuff that comes into it. It's not like it's not like listening to the podcast or watching the YouTube videos about it, where that you see them rolling and doing their role play. It's
that's not what I'm expecting from this, but yeah.
No, but you don't need D&D prior knowledge to understand this show.
Right.
I'll just say that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In saying that, I had no idea Kratos was in this.
It's not. Did you say Kratos?
Kratos.
It's not him.
I know the character's not actually Kratos, but he looks like him in a lot of ways.
He reminds me of Drax for some reason. But yeah, he's definitely more Kratos-like. You're right.
Krog is not Kratos.
No, he's not. And he's Grog. It's fine.
Yeah. Look, there's animes out there that I don't really jive with, and I feel like this might be one of those. So yeah. the more power to you guys that enjoy this show, but it's not my kind of. It's not my cup of tea. We'll just put it that way.
And that's fine. I'm not gonna hold that against you, so it's okay. Thank you again for your honesty.
2 for 2 so far.
Love it. Okay. Mike, you're a fan of this series, yes? How
Yeah.
How are you feeling about this trailer? Did you like this trailer? Are you pumped?
Yeah, get your hypes, get your pumps. If you like jumping into this sort of scenario, and yeah, as you've said before, it is based on a D&D campaign, but they can't really have many like D&D stuff in it because it's copyrighted material. I mean, there's certain creatures in it that they can't really put in because of that fact. Like, yeah, I mean, dragons. It's in public domain, so you can have dragons, and so it is dragons and dungeons and dragons and more dungeons. Yeah, it's been a long time. Because animation takes a very long time to do, and they were also gearing up for another spin-off series, but it's in the same universe, but it's campaign 2, so they're also doing the Mighty Nine,
yes,
as well, involved with the same people involved. So yeah. And they're a very busy lot because they're doing campaign 3 at the moment, and there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, and I'm probably in the same vein as well that I need to rewatch to get re-familiarized on where the story is, and dare I go back to start watching the actual campaigns as well. I mean, but the abridged versions. And they only go for an hour, so that's good. Yeah, so can't really add too much to it. Can't wait for where these characters go, because I have no idea anymore. When is this coming out?
Well, The Legend of Vox Machina Season 3 will drop on Prime Video on the 3rd of October.
Prime
time. Okay.
Welcome to Prime Time, bitch.
Yeah. I get that reference now. We got one more trailer to talk about. And this is for an upcoming Netflix movie called Nobody Wants This. An interesting title.
Quite fitting.
I really want to, part of me really wants to make a joke, but I like these actors, so I'm like, I don't want to make that joke. But like this movie, it looks harmless. It's a romantic sort of comedy movie. Kristen Bell, and Kirsten. Is it Kirsten or Kristen? It's Kristen, isn't it? Kristen Bell. Is it a series? I thought it was a movie. Oh, thank you for correcting me.
You mean there's more of it?
A series. They've got 10 episodes slated. So
wow, this is gonna be a series. Lord help us. Sorry. Yeah, Kristen Bell and Adam Brody look like they have very good chemistry in this. I kind of like the funny premise of he's a rabbi who's a very attractive rabbi. And it's very much a, star-crossed love situation. Like, she is very much not the type of guy he would go for, and she's, he's not the type of guy she'd go for, and that kind of thing. And some very interesting jokes about religion. I did have a chuckle over the part where she walked into the synagogue and she went like this. She did the sign of the cross, and he's like, "That's not us." I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah, and then clearly there's friends and family telling them not to be together and we don't want you together. So hence the title. Nobody wants this. Yeah, I hope it's a one and done series. I can't imagine this being an ongoing narrative beyond this, because I feel like surely they'd be doing their total story in one. I wonder how long these episodes are going to be. Very curious. I really thought it was a movie. I'm like so surprised it's a series.
The trailer did feel like it was a movie.
It did. It did not feel like a. It did not feel like a series. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But hey, that's fine. I'm sure there will be a lot of people that will enjoy this and watch this. Like I said, the cast is very likable, very popular. There've been a bunch of other successful things. We love Kristen from The Good Place, of course. And I'm sure some of us maybe dabbled in the OC when we were kids, in high school. Well, I didn't. I mean, I watched some of the first season, but I was never really into teen dramas unless they had vampires and werewolves in them. That's how I rolled.
More realistic.
Yeah, more realistic, exactly. Okay, well, that's my thoughts on Nobody Wants This. How about you, Fulya? Do you want this?
Not really.
3 for 3.
3 for 3, yeah.
Bad trailer park.
No, look, it's a harmless looking show.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be, a rom-com of sorts. But I don't know, it just didn't really hit me in any way of, this relationship's going to be interesting kind of a situation. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just I think religion is definitely going to be the main sort of commentary in this particular series by the sounds of it. Especially considering the family is also getting a bit involved and trying to push her out. But yeah, I don't know. It just didn't really get my attention, to be honest. I don't know. It doesn't look bad, but yeah, it's just the story itself, and yeah, just not for me.
And as I keep saying, that's fine.
Yeah.
This isn't for me either. Anyway, Fulya. So you're not alone.
Yeah.
You're not alone in this one. Mike, what do you reckon? A date knife series for you and Sammy?
It's curious that you chose this one. Probably.
Well, when the other trailers were basically a horror trailers, I think I kind of had to choose this one.
Wow.
So, I wanted to do the Rosemary Baby prequel, but no, Fulya would not permit it.
There's a Rosemary Baby sequel.
I'm not gonna say don't do it. Like, if you want to talk about it, you can. I just won't say anything.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that. It's already bad enough that I can't help sometimes. But anyway, we're getting into behind the scenes content now. We don't need to do that. Just rambling like crazy people. Yes, so fascinating for the listeners. Yes, edit point.
Maybe.
Maybe. Or keep it in. Live dangerously.
Yes.
Yeah, go on, Mike. What did you think of this trailer?
Yeah. Looks like they were having fun. I suppose there's an audience for it, but I'm not one of them, unfortunately. And yeah, a 10-part series. Hopefully it goes for 20 minutes. But can you imagine if it goes for 40? Wow. What can you do?
I think it'd probably go for about between 27 to 30 minutes.
Yeah. A big title sequence. Like, I'm thinking 2-minute 30 title sequence. and then added bonus, you can skip everything, including the recaps. Oh, that's the thing. They put recaps as well as a 2-minute 30 title sequence, and the rest is just filler. It'll be like One Piece. It's the One Piece of rom-coms. I can't wait for that. So where's this coming out?
Well, nobody wants this.
No one does.
I can't get over the title. Terrible. Nobody wants this. Will be dropping in its entirety on Netflix on the 26th of September.
I think I broke my pen.
Oh no!
I can't get it out.
Played around with it too much.
No.
I was getting bored.
It's not a fidget spinner. Jeez.
He was trying to make it one.
I don't
Yeah, I know.
I don't fidget. I don't have ADD. Unruly. Unruly ADD.
All right, folks.
Yes.
Strap in.
Time
It's
for
time.
Yeah.
The moment, the segment, the section, the part, the place, the spot, the building in the show
So
that
many
we like to
buildings.
call.
Popcorn culture.
Damn straight.
Yeah. It's popcorn culture time.
I love that opening title music. It's so good.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, I like it. It's fun
Mm.
and it's
It,
playful.
it lulls you into a false sense of security.
A little bit, but I kind of like. Yeah, it's the whole opening credit sequence. I've always been a fan of. Yes. But yes. Enough hinting. It's popcorn culture time, and we are here to discuss our thoughts on the first episode of season 4 of Only Murders in the Building.
Thank
What's that? I never heard of it.
Yeah.
I think I watched the wrong thing.
Oh no. The episode is of course titled Once Upon a Time in the West, which is very appropriate for multiple reasons. But yes, here we are, season 4. I'm so glad that I'm in with you guys now. It's a fun show. I enjoy it. So I'm excited to kind of discuss it with you two and not just, get FOMO from the weekly watchings anymore. It's good times. So my thoughts on this one overall, a great start to the mystery, to the story of this season. We're already in Hollywood. I wasn't expecting it to happen straight away based on the trailers. I thought it would be episode 2. But no. Here we are. Things are happening. We get to meet a lot of our new players in the cast. Molly Shannon is just fantastic and annoying as always, but in a good way. Like, I love her. But she's really good at playing annoying characters. And getting to see Eva Longoria and Zach Galifianakis and Eugene Levy play, different versions of themselves, I guess. It was a bit of fun to see. And then, just to see where the gang is at and what their plans are following the end of season 3 and what happened to Zaz. Zaz. Oh, I have so many feels. I really have a lot of feels about Zaz in this episode.
Yeah, Charles is very worried.
He's very worried. He's worried the entire episode.
Even though he's trying not to be.
He's trying so hard, but he's not really trying.
No.
At all. He keeps saying he'll try not to worry, but no. It's just gonna keep happening. Without getting into things that happen, that's pretty much how I'm feeling. I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was good. Fulya, what were your overall thoughts?
Yeah, look, I'm glad to be back into this. I've been chomping at the bit to watch this show again because I love it so much. It's so much fun. And it's kind of meta in a way for us, at least, or the fact that they're doing podcasting in a show, and here we are doing podcasting about the show that does podcasting. So that's kind of
meta and wonderful.
I know.
I love it. It's great.
It's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, this particular episode, yeah, it was good and fun, and just Charles is just full worried about the fact that it's unlike Zaz to not respond to him in messages and stuff. So, but he's trying not to show that, because this whole Hollywood deal thing about making a movie about them and their podcast is hilarious, that they brought in Eva Longoria, Zach Galifianakis, and Eugene Levy into it, and it's the way that they're being described as well, as characters for this movie was also quite funny. But also, like, you can tell that it really struck a chord with Mabel. She was just like, I don't want to be that person. But yeah, no, it was really cool. It was really cool. And then seeing Howard not have a cat this time.
Yeah.
The dog.
Yeah.
Gravy.
But yeah, how everything that's sort of like as the episode went on, and things were starting to the Charles, Oliver, and Mabel were starting to realize what was happening, and it's clicking for Charles as well, and especially about Zaz. Yeah. I'm actually very curious. Anyway, we'll probably get into it once we, start talking more details, but I'm just curious as to how they got rid of the body.
Yeah, we have a lot of questions about that.
Yeah.
that I'm sure will be answered as the season goes along.
Yeah, look. I'm happy it's back again. I am ready for the rest of this season because it's such a good show.
Hell to the yes for you. Mike, what did you think overall of this episode?
Yeah, it was good. It just got straight into it, where there wasn't really this is what was happening. It's pretty much just the exact, like, straight after, next day. Sorry, it just threw me. It's like, not to jump ahead, but didn't we find out what happened to the body at the end?
I can't remember, but like, obviously we get the previously on at the start, and we see Zaz like on the floor, and it looks like she's using blood to spell something out, maybe. But I don't actually remember if we saw her body put in the incinerator or not.
No, well,
because that's where she ends up.
Yeah,
at least it seems.
That's where
they want you to think she is.
Okay.
I don't trust anything in this show anymore.
No. Everyone's coming back. It was a good starting off point, and just going straight into what the scenario is. And yeah, there was a lot more like meta references to the actual show, which is good, but it sort of, not to nitpick, but it sort of became a crutch, really. Like talking about the character development with the characters themselves. Like talking about how Mabel is Selena Gomez, sort of her take of being a mumbly millennial and homeless, and just the weird dynamic of having her as a young woman with these two octogenarians, and they sort of changed it up within the movie of aging her up a bit and aging them down, and sort of, it's like this is the sort of thing. It's like, yeah, I sort of get it, and yeah, but yeah, whatever. I like it. I'm very scatterbrained at the moment. I'm very sorry.
That's okay. We're all tired. It's a Monday night, and hopefully we'll keep this to under 3 hours this time.
So overall, I liked it.
Good.
Can't wait for the next one.
Good.
Bye, everyone.
Bye now. Time to end the everything. Yeah. So I guess to sort of start things off, one of the first things we hear is that Death Rattle has been cancelled. It's been ended. They're not doing any more Broadway shows. Which
why?
I felt really bad for Oliver. His reaction was not the best. He was on the floor begging for his mum. Oh.
He just went straight into panic mode.
Yeah, he did. He collapsed. It was all over. His Broadway dream. That was sad to hear, but like it made sense. I'm like, oh, of course the two investors are gonna be on trial for murder now, so all of their money needs to be redirected into that. So that was funny, and I just kind of loved how once they realized that the emails from Paramount were legit about coming to Hollywood, and he's just like, fuck theater.
Yeah.
Fuck the theater. We're going to Hollywood.
We know what Oliver is. We know that he's money hungry.
Yeah, he's not gonna try, and he's fame hungry too. Like he's not gonna try and save the theater show when he knows he's got a better offer.
Exactly.
Yeah. And even though he has that little moment too of like Loretta's gone to Hollywood to film her thing, and he's still sad about it. And then I think is it Mabel's like, but you knew she was going. She's only been gone a few days. You didn't try and stop her, and blah, like whatever the gag was. It was fun. But yeah, I just instantly going from we're doing the stage thing to no, now we're in the movie business. Fully, how did you go with the sort of the beginning of the plot of this? Finding out that they're gonna go to Hollywood.
Yeah. Yeah, it was sort of interesting. It was more interesting that it was Paramount that was calling them, right?
Not Disney.
I'm just like, hold on a second. Paramount's calling them? Hold on. But yeah, it was interesting because I kind of understand where they're coming from in the sense of getting an email thinking, is this actually real? But then when they all get the same email, they were like, okay, maybe it is real. So they're all kind of coming together. I just love their dynamic together. Like no matter what happens, Oliver and Charles are, they're just. We know that Oliver is all about the money, all about the fame, and he's always frantic, and he's almost like the ADHD kid, And then you've got Charles, who's a little bit more subdued, but he's still got that whole, I used to be this really famous actor kind of thing going on with him. And then you got Mabel, who's just kind of trying to be that person that calms them down a bit.
Yes.
She's the glue that binds them together.
Indeed. Indeed she is.
Yeah, but this opening sequence it was interesting because especially when, after the party, when they go back to Charles's apartment, and Charles was just wondering why Zaz never came back to the party because she went to get the wine and all that sort of stuff. And then when they get to the apartment and they see that the wine is still sitting there, for a second I thought it really threw me, because before they switched on the light, when they got to the apartment, he's like, oh my God, she's, he was like, Charles had this like shock voice. I thought he found the body. But turns out he found the wine.
Yes, the misdirect, yes.
Yes, yeah. I was just like, oh damn it. And yeah, it was just interesting that even throughout that whole sequence where they're they're sitting down at the kitchen bench and they're having the wine, but they don't notice. Like Mabel noticed the blood splatter on the oven. I didn't really make too much of it.
I think she just was like, no, it's not like, I don't think it was enough blood to like worry her. So she was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's the wine from the cook. Like, it's fine.
Probably.
Yeah, that's what
Or
I
maybe
thought.
Charles has
Anyway.
been cooking something.
Yeah,
It's
Because he didn't
bolognese.
it's bolognese.
The other thing that threw me was, how do you not notice a hole in your window?
Yeah, especially because like, you know, there's the entire overarching thing of this episode is that whistling that he keeps hearing.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So me over here just thinking, are they really that stupid?
They have a podcast.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, hey, is that a dig at podcasters?
Yep. I resemble that remark.
Yeah.
So do we.
Get a real job. No, yeah. You would think that they would have a little bit more wherewithal.
They're doing like friggin' 3 seasons of doing their podcast about murders and mysteries. I guess they're not real detectives, so that makes sense.
that's true.
Yeah.
You are correct about this. Yes.
Yeah, but my brain just like my mind was boggled when they sort of zoom out, and I'm looking at the floor where Zaz dropped dead, and she's not there.
I know.
And I'm like, wait, what? Did they like once they killed her, just broke in and grabbed her body, and then I don't know. It's just my brain's just trying to piece it all together.
How'd they get her out? Is she even dead?
Well, they found her replacement.
We'll talk about
parts.
it. Oh, I'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Talk about it later. I'll talk about it now. Mike, shall we go to you for your thoughts on the beginning of this episode, like the continuation of the after party and the Hollywood stuff, I suppose, like the before they go to Hollywood anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, just to touch on they haven't learnt anything, like prior knowledge of actually knowing like spotting clues of like murders. They're still novices at this, and as we've said, they're not detectives. They've got a podcast, so the character work is still the same. Like I'm not expecting them to like become like aficionados with murder mysteries by the end of this. I think that they are what they are, and I think it's a good what would you call it? It's not a resetting of the characters, but it's a good reminder these are just normal people that somehow find themselves in the middle of a murder mystery. And that's why I like this show, really. It's just a bunch of idiots trying to work this out, and by the end of it they become lucky enough to actually figure it out. So, or they accidentally stumble upon them figuring out because they are so heavily involved with it. And it's a good opening for the 4th season of a TV show that's, as they said in this episode, it's like it's weird that this keeps on happening, and there's always a murder in this building and stuff like that. So it's a meta commentary again.
There's only murders in this building.
This building.
Yeah.
Even if there was an attempted murder on a stage, it always ends up being in this building.
Yeah.
Yes. That's exactly right. Yeah, cool. Well, yeah, I guess the meeting in Hollywood is probably the next notable point when they get to Paramount and we get to meet Molly Shannon's character. What was her name? Bev Mellon.
Yeah, Bev Mellon.
Bev Mellon. I kind of
Melon.
really, I liked this scene a lot. I thought it was very funny. Like from the immediate intro, like Bev's introducing herself to them, and then you just get this slew of these other whomevers they are, people related to the project, just coming up one after the other, introducing themselves, and I'm like, I'm not taking in any of this information. I'm sure they're not either. Like, it's just so many names all at once and so many job titles and descriptions. I'm like, I'm gonna call you the guy with the glasses. That's because that's who you are to me now.
Suspects.
That was funny. My two favorite gags in this scene were the moment where they're introduced to the directors, who are called the brothers, because their last name is Brothers, but they're two twin sisters, and they're just very kind of like or they, I don't know, entitled maybe is the word, I guess. Like they've clearly in this world they've had some success, and
The younger generation.
this is like their blank check movie where they come in and they can just do whatever by adapting this IP. And that kind of joke on like sibling filmmakers was a bit funny. I liked that. And then the other moment I really liked was Charles passing the note over
the giant board
and
table.
how long it was, like how long the gag. I just was cacking myself. And then the fact that she opens it up and it's like, it's just a 4.
4.
And it's just a 4, and then the gag about 4 and 4 and all the different numbers with 4, and then Oliver's like, perhaps a 5 even.
And then Mabel walking out means like she might want 6.
Oh, I think she wants a 6. I loved that. I love that a lot. And then the whole, Mike, as you've already alluded to, the commentary that's, I suppose you're right, has been kind of mentioned throughout the show quite a lot, is like, how these characters are perceived by everyone, and then their relationship to each other and the age difference and all this stuff. And here I suppose it makes sense for them to make fun of that because they're adapting it into something. But I suppose you're kind of right that it is something they've harped on out before. Like you said, it's an easy crutch to fall back on in terms of comedy, to mention that shit again. But I kind of liked that they used it as a plot device for Mabel to be like, oh, I'm homeless, I'm jobless.
It's Mira. It's Mira up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, it's I liked that moment for her. I love the fact that she wasn't immediately in on the deal. So yeah, a lot happened at this little meeting at Paramount. Fulya, what were your thoughts on it?
I was expecting Mabel not to be 100% in because she was still quite, like, you could tell she was overwhelmed just with the idea of actually being there in the first place, and the fact that they wanted to make a movie about him, and she just couldn't, like, it didn't sink in for her, and you sort of tell. So I kind of figured that she'd be the one that was potentially going to say no, or that she needed time to digest it all. So yeah, but this whole sort of scene or scenes that have sort of play out. Yeah, look, the gag with Charles and the note passing, it's like trying to get it across, and he was trying to do it so like smooth and subtly, but then realizes how big this table was to get that note across, that he underestimated the size and the reach, essentially. But the other thing was, like, Molly wasn't going out of her way to reach for it either, because she just was sitting there thinking, what the hell is this idiot doing? It's like, she even mentioned, oh, you don't need to say anything right now. You can deal with our, solicitors and whatnot. No. And he just kept on going. But yeah, it's that particular scene was actually, that was interesting. And the whole idea of the fact that they mentioned that they just want to get straight into it. So all of a sudden they're like, you're going to meet the cast at tonight's party. So we're going to get you to come down and meet them there. And they're like, wow, you already cast her? You already cast the movie? So that's also another thing that Mabel was like shocked about, which honestly, I'm also sitting here thinking, wait, they've already gone ahead and done all of the prep work and all they needed was for them to come along? What if they said no?
Therein lies the comedy.
Yeah.
They would have done it anyway.
Yeah, well.
Like
yeah,
called it
maybe.
something else.
Exactly.
Yeah, only murders in the vicarage.
They could have done that gag.
Only, yeah, all right. Just killings in the apartment. I don't know. Something.
Yeah, something. This whole sort of that little scene was good. It was
Yeah, nice. Mike, what did you think of the meeting scene?
It was very funny, and yeah, I think because Steve, he's Steve, his character and Oliver, they're both familiar with the sort of entertainment industry, and Mabel isn't. I think that's why is one of the things is she's a bit overwhelmed. It's like, this is going way too quick, and I don't know if it's if it's true or not. If that thing sort of strike while the iron's hot. I mean, in real life, they want a Skibbity Toilet movie done by and Michael Bay is attached to it. Like, that's a real thing. And Skibbity Toilet is a stupid meme thing that the kids really love. I mean, I'm talking about this newer Generation Alpha is really into Skibbity Toilet, which is, look it up. It'll make you old so much. It's like, wow, they really are into this. There's lore behind it. And yeah, and I think it is like a Hollywood thing of, we need to get something done before Christmas to get the big bucks, like just the added snap thing, like having like a viral thing, like what can I, Chewbacca Mum.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember Chewbacca Mum, yeah.
And how there was like a week of her being on every chat show and everything like that. It's sort of like that.
Okay.
So I'm guessing this is the reason why it's going so quick. It is because, true crime podcasts are a dime a dozen, but for some reason this particular one is very juicy because there is constantly content, because they had to do it 3 times, and it's constantly going. So, and does this tie into the murder? Like, there may be a big list of people that we meet in this meeting. Who's to say these are the suspects? Are they that willing to kill someone just so their job is easier because it's based on real life. That will be interesting. And this is just the first episode. So, but still, there's still more red herrings because just more stuff, and yeah, it's just funny and hilarious, and it's just proof that Steve Martin is a comic genius, because that thing is so simple. You think of it, it's so simple, but still hilarious. Just making someone trying to pass a note and making it funny, is hilarious. And yeah, and just the double act with him and Martin Short, and then Mabel you need a character to say, "What are you doing?" Just to put that cherry on the top of yes, audience, this is bizarre and not normal in this universe.
Yeah, it sure is. Funny. Cool. Well, before we get to the party, we had a brief little scene at where they go to Zaz's place. They're in a limo, driving around Hollywood, LA, and even get a shot of them through the sunroof eating burgers for some reason. And I love the little moment. Yeah, I love the little moment of like
it's a New York
Charles
thing.
being Charles being like Brazos, like he's still and they don't know who you are.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Yeah, and then we got to see the apartment complex where Charles first lived, he said, when season 1 of Brazos was filming. And Zaz took it over from him, and of course, Zaz is nowhere to be found, and there's heaps of mail and piling up, and you can see inside and see some dead flowers. So she has not been around for a bit. And he hears that whistle again. But he knows deep down something's wrong. But they're all just like, nah, she's fine. Because I think by this point we've gotten the text from quote unquote Zaz, not actually Zaz, saying that I'm in LA with Bakula doing the stunt stuff that she said she was going to be last season. So, so he's like, nah, it's fine. We're just gonna go to the party.
Yeah.
Go have a good time. Fully, do you have any thoughts on the Zaz apartment stuff, or should I roll into the party and we just mash it together? I don't know. There's not really a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it was a little eerie. That's probably the most thing that I'll probably say about that. But yeah, I think what actually most of the stuff that we might discuss is going to happen in the next sort of scene.
Yeah, very true. Mike, any quick comments on Zaz's apartment being empty?
Yeah, just to make sure that people realize it's like, this isn't normal. Why? What's going on? We know because we saw the last episode of the previous season. But these characters are slowly realizing something's afoot. Or feet. A lot of feet.
Something's a feat, yes. Yeah, cool. So the party scene is kind of our main big scene for the episode. They walk in and everyone's very happy to see them, and then we get the introduction of Zach and Eva and Eugene coming in, and then it was kind of cute to see Mabel was mostly in kind of awe that Eva Longoria was going to be playing her, which I thought was fun. And they have, discussions about, which I found were really funny, like of, talking about the aging up thing and, because they did focus groups and whatever. And then just this like running gag that Eva Longoria is like Fran Drescher just lying about her age. Like she's like, oh, a couple of years ago when I was your age. She's definitely not Selena Gomez's age. But she looks amazing. So that's fun, and I liked the stuff with Eugene Levy and Charles. That was amusing. Him trying to like emulate his cadence and voice and stuff and the things he was saying, and Charles was just like, no, I'm more upbeat and I'm more positive, and Zaz is fine, nothing's wrong. But I think for me the funniest interaction was, and we saw a bit of it in the trailer, but seeing Oliver interact with Zach Galifianakis and not having the foggiest idea who he is was fantastic. And like calling him, what did he call him? Gallifragilistic or whatever.
Yeah,
Like he made a Mary Poppins sort of a joke, which was very good. And then Zach's like, I'm out. Unless you make my dream project, and then I'm back in. That was kind of funny. And then like later on, there's Oliver's talking about certain things and people he knows in the business, and then Zach Galifianakis is just like calling him out for being old and dated, and I can't remember the line, but he mentioned something about when talk to me when you're in 2024 sort of a vibe. That was kind of fun. But yeah, I found the most amusing scenes at the party were definitely the scenes where the actors and the real life people were interacting. So I'll leave it at that before we talk into other stuff with the party. But Fulya, what did you think of them getting to interact with themselves, I guess?
Yeah, it was very entertaining, to say the least. And yeah, I do agree with the Oliver and the Zach sort of interaction. The fact that Zach he's a very heightened version of himself. Well, they all are actually, and it's just funny that he's like so like stuck up and arrogant, and he thinks he's all that, and Oliver's just very self-conscious of himself. But then you kind of see that with all three of them when the actors are speaking to them separately. Charles has that whole self-conscious thing about he doesn't want to be portrayed as being this, dull, not fun person. He wants to be the upbeat, fun person, or not always the worried one, or and then Mabel doesn't want to be known as the homeless one that's always mumbling and all that sort of stuff. So, it was an interesting sort of I suppose it was kind of a bit of a commentary about, having someone else play you in a film, and then you sort of see it as if it's kind of like a mirror in a way, or is it?
And also how people see me.
Yeah, how others see you. So that was also an interesting sort of a commentary on that. I would not want to be portrayed by anyone. I do not want to be. Nobody needs to portray me in no movie or show. I will be me, and that'll be it.
Really?
Yes. I don't need a weird heightened version of myself. I am already heightened.
Nice. Yes.
But yeah.
Who's going to play Fulya in the biopic?
Who would play Fulya in the music?
Let's not go down that road.
The
Thank
movie,
you.
the movie version of a podcast called Fred. Mike, what did you think of the first scenes of the party where they're interacting with the Hollywood element, if you will,
and themselves?
Yes.
I do like the aspect of this show of actually having guest stars playing themselves, but not necessarily themselves. And I always joke, and I'm hoping they'll do it one day, that one of them who are playing themselves becomes the murderer, and they get arrested on the show, and that would be funny for me. if I was writing something like that and just it's so one of these three, like like I could just imagine like all three of them probably become, because they're looking for work. Maybe it's the Zach Galifianakis as as a heightened version of himself, who's also a murderer.
See that?
Yeah. Like they did the red herring for Sting all those years ago, and then and just hoping one day that would just be hilarious.
Yeah. Would be.
Indeed it would. All right. Next point of order, I would think, would be Loretta shows up. We get to see Meryl Streep back in this episode. Her and Oliver are just the most adorable together. So that was nice to see them. But is there trouble on the horizon? I found it really interesting. I feel like they're totally setting up a breakup here. Their relationship hasn't always been on the best of terms given the events of season 3. But yeah, like they clearly both love each other, and they tell each other that much in this scene. That's really sweet. But then she's like, I want you to move here. I don't want to. I don't really want to be away from you anymore. And he's like, I don't know if I can. Like, I need you to let me think about this for a minute. He's not gonna leave New York because we know we're watching a TV show, but this show is only going to be in LA this season, and the next season they'll go back to New York and to the Arconia and more adventures there. I mean, they go back to New York in this episode. We'll get to that in a sec, but I don't know. I don't think it's gonna work out, because I think she was definitely like struck by him not saying yes straight away. And I can't see Oliver giving up his apartment anyway, because he loves that apartment so much. And it is the coolest apartment out of all of the apartments. Like, if I could choose which one to live in, I'd live in Oliver's. Because it's just so cool. It's so him, and it's just it's filled with character and personality, and really cool pieces and things and whatnot. But yeah, I know. What do you think, Fulya? Trouble in paradise for our lovers here.
Kind of seeing that too. It does look like that these two may not last as long as what the viewers are going to want. Like, I would love for them to just stick it out for as long as possible, but Meryl Streep costs a lot of money now.
She's only going to be in 2 scenes this season.
Yeah.
This one and the breakup.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a phone call.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's going to last very long, like you said, Kendall. I just feel like the fact that, Loretta's found this fame and fortune, and
she's always wanted
the fact that she's getting what she's, dreamed of all her life. She's not going to let that go. And we know that Oliver is too connected to New York to let go of that, to move to LA. So yeah, I think either by the end of the season, or maybe halfway through, or maybe in the next couple of episodes, we'll probably get that breakup, I would say.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
No.
Mike, do you have any thoughts on Oliver and Loretta?
For fair and balanced, I'm going to say, the relationship is going to last long and forever, and they have babies, even though they're not in the right age bracket for that. So maybe they'll get a dog.
They can have a dog, maybe.
Yeah, and call it Chips, And then you can have chips and gravy.
Oh, I love that.
That's kind of cute.
That's great.
But knowing Oliver, probably poutine.
Yeah, true. It's poutine. Yes. I love that.
But all jokes aside, nah, they're probably not going to last.
Yeah. I think we'll all be surprised if they make it out by the end of this season. But yeah, there's almost a brief moment of celebration because Mabel changes her mind and she puts forth an offer that we don't see. So whether or not we're going to find out what that offer is, or we're just supposed to think it's something extravagant or small,
It's 6.
It's 6. Yeah, she just wrote 6 on that paper and handed it. Exactly.
Or she plays herself.
Yeah, or she plays herself. That'd be a cool twist.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
That'd be a fun twist.
Hmm.
Yes. So, but before celebrations can begin, there's a great scene between Charles and Scott Bakula, who just happens to be at the party. Charles thinks he's Zaz because he's, wearing the same, sort of coat and the hat and everything. And then they have a great little scene. And Charles's fears are kind of confirmed because Zaz, it's not only not like her to, not respond to messages or not to come to parties when invited, but, the fact that Scott Bakula's like, oh no, Zaz was supposed to be with me filming, but she never turned up. So he's like, oh no, something bad is happening. And then of course he gets the call from what's the name of the doorman again?
Lester?
Is it Lester? Yes, Lester.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, what?
Lester, the doorman.
Oh, Lester.
Those
stupid Lesters.
Stupid Lester.
Taking my name and replacing the I with an E.
Yeah, how dare they?
How dare they? How dare they?
How dare they? Yes, Lester calls, which, kind of ruins the killer's plan, I think, because, they sneakily left a note to be like, well, actually, yeah, the glass needs replacing, but Lester's like, oh, I'm sorry, Charles, I can't do it today. And then he's like, what the hell is going on? So, yeah, problems are afoot. And then we cut back to, them finding the bullet hole, having a freak out, getting Gravy involved. And then we end up at the incinerator. And I can't get Charles's look out on my face when he's just holding what is probably Zaz's shoulder. Oh.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing
Bulgaria.
that's the other thing in the apartment scene is that like they go back and they end up going back and breaking in and yeah, they see like all the different, she's so proud of her stunt work. I like it. My big break was I had a little chuckle at that. But yeah, he's like, it looks like, well, that Zaz is dead and yeah, burned and it's sad, and it's just Charles's face was just giving me all the feels.
Yeah, and his hands being all covered in ash.
Oh, I know, when he was just like, oh
trying to
god,
dig through and grab it all. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really kind of traumatizing, to be honest. And then that text message saying "not your fucking friend." I'm like, oh god, that's cruel. Oh yeah, I'm having chills. I'm having chills in this comedy. What's going on? Yeah. So that's basically the ending of the episode. Which I thought was very good. Very good climax. Fulya, what did you make of the way things played out, to Charles figuring it out, to them going back to New York and finding Zaz or what's left of
look,
her?
Charles had a gut feeling. He wanted it to be wrong, but his gut feeling turned out to be right. And the fact that we went from being at this party in LA and then cut to they're back at the Oconia in New York. They're like, oh wow, that was quick. That was a quick flight.
They made it the big time now. They know people with jets. So
yeah, teleportation.
Maybe that was the the offer from Mabel. It's like,
The-
I want
the
my
Mabel
own
mate.
jet.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole sort of gut feeling that Charles had turning out to be right just really sort of made me feel sad to know that this is how he's finding out that his friend is dead. Potentially. We don't know.
If there's no
We're
body,
assuming.
it's not real.
We're assuming she died. She got shot, she died. That's what we're assuming.
She got dragged.
And yeah, the whole especially when he got the phone call from Lester about the getting his window changed, and Charles was like, wait, hold on, I never asked to get my window changed, what's wrong with my window? And then Lester explaining it, and Charles just, that's his moment of, oh my god, we need to get back to New York sort of moment. And yeah, it was just that it was hard to sort of watch Charles, the way, just the expression on his face, the emotions that he was going through just by looking at him. And Mabel and Oliver were both kind of like there as support, but also you can see on their face that they're concerned for Charles. Yeah, it was, for a comedy show, they really know how to do their drama well. Yeah.
They really, really do. I guess we say sometimes on this show that sometimes the best comedians or best comedies can bring out some of the best drama. So, yes, definitely happening here. Mike, what are your thoughts on the climax of the episode and the ending?
It's definitely the most morbid situation that we've seen in this show. And if this is just for the opening episode, what is there more to come? It's hard to pinpoint because this is a different sort of direction it's taking of something as well. In order to yes, we are dealing with murderers and all that, and just sick people just doing whatever to get their way. But I still think that this is some sort of to rectify a mistake, and the real target is probably Charles. So,
yeah, absolutely.
And so, yeah, and so it's probably trying to cover up the mistake of the replacement of the window, and also burning the evidence and trying to cover up the fact that it was a mistake, because the real target is Charles. But why?
Why indeed?
Something in his something in Charles's history. A jaded lover. We know this too. Maybe it was Oliver. Maybe it's one of them. It's like, who knows? Who knows? But what an episode to start with.
Heck yeah, I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Great way to start off the season. I just remembered the whole when they were at Zaz's too, like they found notes and stuff like scribbled on random bits and bobs on her desk, and there's like mentions of Charles and other things, and so yeah. Yes. So well mentioned, Mike. There's definitely, as it was very much hinted, I guess, at the end of last season, that they're after Charles. So yeah, it's gonna be cool to see how it plays out.
They digged in greedily and they dig too deep.
Now we're full circle.
Yay.
Yeah. Yay. Yes. All right. Well, I think that's it. We've covered it all.
Yes.
All our thoughts. Cool. That's our discussion on Only Murders in the Building, Season 4, Episode 1, Once Upon a Time in the West. Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm looking forward to the next number of weeks discussing it with you guys. But until then, that's all the show we have to show. It's time to go. Ready? A 1, a 2, a 3.
And
That
was a podcast
called
Fred.
Remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for the latest Fred content.
If you'd like to listen to Fred the Alien, you can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts.
If you'd like to watch Fred the Alien, you can head over to youtube.com/Fred the Alien Productions. If you're watching us right now, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to be notified of future content just like this one. If you're watching us live over on Twitch, make sure to give us a follow on your way out. Twitch.tv/Fred the Alien Twitch.
Woohoo!
I've been a Kendall Richardson.
I've been the Fulya and Michael.
And I've been the murderer of the murders of the murders. I'm not a murderer. This has got nothing to do with me. Michael Lister.
And
you just experienced a podcast called Fred. Transition.
Remember to eat beef.
Remember, Freddy lives, Loki dies, the Doctor is in, and we are the Three Amigos. Yeah.
Remember to look after yourself and your mental health, everyone.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Laters, gators.
And scene.
Nah.